Well, massive game at Stamford Bridge. It is third place Aston Villa taking on fifth place Chelsea, with Liverpool going into the top four after their 2-1 victory against Wolverhampton Wanderers early on. Arsenal and Manchester City getting the job done. It's the late kickoff on Saturday. It's the big clash here against Unai Emery's Aston Villa and Enzo Maresca's Chelsea here. 7 points separating the two teams, and an opportunity for both teams to really now put a marker for this season here. Match week 18 continues. Chelsea having a nightmare December so far, just the one win in 5, and an opportunity to go within 4 points of Aston Villa with a victory here today. Well, Chelsea making 2 changes, with Enzo Fernandez coming back in the starting 11, and Benoit Badiashile will be playing as that left-sided centre-back. Midfield pairing of Enzo Fernandez and Moises Caicedo, Cole Palmer, Garnacho, and of course Pedro Neto, our top scorer, supplying Joao Pedro in attack. As for Aston Villa, they have made a few changes as well. No Ollie Watkins, instead they've gone with Daniel Malin as the centre forward. They've got Buendia in the number 10 position, John McGinn and Morgan Rogers on either side, with Boubacar Kamara and Yuri Tielemans as the midfield pivot. Ezri Konsa and Victor Lindelof as the two centre-backs, with the full-backs with Matty Cash and the former Chelsea player Ian Maatson. Well, Chelsea had a 2-0 victory against Everton at home, which is the only success we have had in the terrible December, which has come up against us. We haven't picked up victories. We have lost unnecessary games, draws to Arsenal, Newcastle United. A victory here is absolutely crucial. Got a very dangerous and hectic end of December, early Jan coming. We have the double header against Manchester City as well. Very important that we build a good amount of form heading into that game here. Here's Pedro Neto, immediately looking to find Cole Palmer. Great to see Cole Palmer back in the starting 11. Started that game against Bournemouth away. Oh, Cole Palmer, lovely. It's Cole Palmer! It's just wide. It's just sliced that effort on the volley. Sat up nicely. Brilliant play this from Moises Caicedo. The first touch from Cole Palmer is outrageous. And he just pulls that wide. Again, Victor Lindelof does not engage and allows Cole Palmer to have a free shot there. And Chelsea nearly get the early goal. Would be so crucial, especially with Unai Emery, the way that he sets up his defense. 7 in a row in the league, 10 in all competitions. What a run this has been for Unai Emery's Aston Villa. He has changed their lives completely since taking over from Steven Gerrard in the relegation zone. Now playing Europe consistently, now challenging in the upper echelons of the Premier League table. If they win today, back to 3 points behind league leaders Arsenal. Well, enough superlatives does not do Unai Emery justice, considering how poorly his team recruited in the summer window. You can argue that they probably got weaker from last season, but still Unai Emery has them challenging. He does have Amadou Onana on the bench. He will be a very interesting option in midfield in the second half if the game demands it. It seems Benoit Badiashile is playing as the left-sided centre-back. Reece on the right-hand side, which means Cucurella will be inverting into midfield from left-back. Here's Pedro Neto, Chelsea's top scorer alongside Joao Pedro. Brilliant pace there by Pedro Neto to get away from Morgan Rogers. Neto thought about the cross on his right foot. James puts a devilish ball in. It's Cucurella edge of the box. Bit of a miscontrol, but it's Alejandro Garnacho down the left-hand side. Had a lot of opportunities against Lewis Miley, against Newcastle United. It was a very poor game from Alejandro Garnacho. Far cry from his game against Cardiff, where he was extremely clinical in front of goal. But Chelsea on the right-hand side have an opportunity. It was Cole Palmer on his right foot, trying to find Enzo Fernandez. Aston Villa all over the shop here. It's been all Chelsea so far, but it's Villa on the counter-attack here. Brilliant from Reece James. Outstanding. He had no right to get there around Morgan Rogers. Does so well. Pedro Neto's pass is poor. Chelsea trying to pick the pockets here. Tielemans So excellent composure. Camara has been swarmed there. Chelsea winning the ball back really well. Joao Pedro involved in the build-up as well. Cucurella finds Alejandro Garnacho up against Matty Cash. Needs to go and be direct here, Garnacho. That's a terrible ball in. And Tielemans can clear. Well, we need Garnacho to be direct. Oh, Badiashile takes a very risky touch, and now Chelsea in real trouble with Morgan Rogers up against Badiashile. Morgan Rogers, brilliant from Benoit Badiashile. Well, he put us in trouble. It was a great first touch, but that pass ended up going straight into the path of Morgan Rogers, who was bearing down at us. It's a very much open game here. 5 minutes at Stamford Bridge. Cole Palmer had Chelsea's best opportunity, sat up nicely on the volley there. And we know that we cannot afford to make mistakes against this Aston Villa side, that's for sure. Here's Garnacho now. Needs to have a better impact. Garnacho up against Cash. Enzo Fernandez tries to play a nutmeg pass on Camara. Here's Benoit Badiashile. Chelsea dominating possession and territory here. Reece James. Joao Pedro trying to link up with Cole Palmer. We've been desperate to see that combination. Chelsea win the ball back again. Moises Caicedo, brilliant there. Benoit Badiashile cuts that pass quickly to Garnacho. On his right foot again towards the far stick. Brilliant defending there by Ian Maatsen. Former Chelsea player gets it absolutely spot on there because Pedro Neto was stealing a march. Reece James looks so quick again, man. The way that he's just covering the turf with real swiftness. He's a man reborn now. 2 goals in the Premier League, 3 assists for Reece. His best return in a very long time, and more importantly, playing regular games for us. Involved in the big games. This one, a huge encounter here. Chelsea cannot afford to let Aston Villa go 10 points ahead of them, which means that Liverpool will go 3 points ahead of us and then level on points with Manchester United. That's how important 3 points can be in this match here. Here's Chalobah. Change in defensive partnership for him. He has been forming that excellent partnership with Wesley Fofana, but Fofana was pretty poor against Newcastle in that first half. Allowed Nick Woltemade on a couple of occasions to get the better of him. Cole Palmer turns away from trouble. Caicedo, lovely pass there by Moy. And now Pedro Neto on the right-hand side. Finds Cole Palmer. Cole goes on the outside. Brilliant bit of play there. Couldn't squeeze the pass across, but can bribe this from Chelsea. Making sure that they're very much on the front foot here, not allowing Aston Villa to settle into their rhythm. Again down the right-hand side, Reece floats that towards the far stake, asking a lot out of Alejandro Garnacho there. Again, Reece James in that position. You like to see him in the half spaces, delivering whip balls in the box. Good start here from Chelsea. Enzo Maresca, of course, serving his touchline ban after picking up that yellow card against Newcastle, which means Willy Caballero will be prowling the touchline. Matty Cash finds Emi Buendia. Camara trying to get away from Reece James. What a challenge that is by Moises Caicedo. Surely he's got the ball there, because if that's a foul, that could be a yellow card for Moises Caicedo, because both feet leave the ground here. Well, Camara's very clever. He just flicks the ball in the air as Moises Caicedo was on the slide. He has a quick scan. Caicedo might have gotten a bit of the ball, but might be the right call there from the ref. Moises Caicedo has been biting into the challenges, and after serving that 3-match suspension after that red card against Arsenal in the beginning of December, started against Newcastle, saw an immediate change in midfield, especially in that second half for Chelsea. Well, Aston Villa with the centre-back pairing of Ezri Konsa and Victor Lindelof, looking to keep Chelsea's attack. Martinez finds John McGinn, who's playing a lot more centrally here, and Caicedo chases him down again. That's a couple of fouls there by Moises Caicedo in real quick time. Caicedo has to be careful not to get in the books of the referee early on. 9 minutes on the clock, 0-0 the scoreline. Unai Emery will be relatively pleased with the scoreline, because Chelsea have had the slightly better of the opposition. John McGinn, who's Chalobah, lovely cushion header there for Rob Sanchez. No clean sheet for Arsenal. which means that Sanchez can put pressure once again on David Raya. What a turnaround it has been for Rob Sanchez. Often the butt of the joke, made some terrible errors in the last 2 seasons, but now starting to gain the trust back of the Stamford Bridge faithful. Here's Benoit Badiashile. Does help in our build-up with Benoit Badiashile's left-footed passing. His ability to pass in those angles, to bypass the Aston Villa press from the front. A huge weapon for us. Here's Badiashile. Cucurella is holding the width on the left-hand side. He's not going to be inverting it every opportunity. It's Cucurella down the left-hand side. Wants an overlap, but it's Garnacho who takes the ball away from him. Garnacho looks a bit clunky on the ball down that left-hand side. That's the difference, though, between him and Jamie Gittins. Gittins are more of a natural dribbler, but Gittins has been far too underwhelming whenever he's gotten game time. Chalobah, brilliant spread there. Matsson's defending has been excellent. The way he's been watching his shoulder for the runs. The two number 10s clash there. Buendia with the challenge on Cole Palmer. Free kick for Chelsea in a decent position here. That right foot of Reece James could come into real use here. Know that Reece James has got the ability to whip in those dangerous balls into the box. Scored an outrageous free kick at St. James's Park. Don't think Reece wants to delegate the duty here to Pedro Neto. Would trust the right foot of Reece here in this angle, especially away from Emiliano Martinez. Xavi Chalobah has been amongst the goals. Scored against West Ham. That crucial goal against Arsenal. It's Neto. It's a flat delivery. It's a poor delivery there by Pedro Neto. Does not beat the first man. And that's where Reece James has to wrestle control away from Pedro Neto. And if he prefers the left-footed ball, maybe go with Cole Palmer. But Neto's delivery is really hit and miss. Here's Enzo Fernandez. He's had a very difficult December. The Argentine has played a lot of games for us as Caicedo looks to switch the play, but it's a poor pass there by the Ecuadorian. But it's been all Chelsea in terms of possession. Chance for Cole Palmer to make it 1-0, but he snatched at the effort. Aston Villa have had a couple of breakaway opportunities, but Rob Sanchez has been relatively untroubled. Unai Emery looking to make it 8 wins in a row in the Premier League. That does not happen often, doesn't it? Even with the likes of Manchester City, Arsenal. That's how tremendous the run has been. Matsson's defending has been first class, man. The way he's reading danger, the composure that he's showing at left back. Pedro Neto picks up the loose ball. And Chelsea need to be responsible when they do have the ball. Make sure that Aston Villa are moved from side to side a lot quicker. A defensive shape without the ball will be 4-4-2. Here's Badiashile. Switches the play beautifully onto the right-hand side. Here's Pedro Neto. Again, trying to put a ball in with his right foot. His delivery has been non-existent. Oh, Caicedo goes crunching in, but Villa play through the press brilliantly. Here's Camara. Looks for the switch. Cucurella reads that very well. And Enzo Fernandez mops up. Garnacho finds Enzo Fernandez. Chelsea need to just keep the ball here. Fernandez finds Garnacho. Cucurella's on the overlap. Garnacho decides to go himself. Here's Garnacho. Cucurella, first time ball in with his weaker right foot. Again, I do not understand the left footers looking to go with their right foot. Cucurella wins the ball back brilliantly, though. Good pressure here from Chelsea. Critical that this ends up in a goal, though. Here's Benoit Badiashile. Another lovely switch there, but it's Buendia helps out defensively. Here's Yuri Tielemans. John McGinn. Cucurella is touched tight to the number 7. Finds Victor Lindelof. Ezri Konsa being put under pressure there. Camara does very well. Well, Boubacar Camara and, of course, Amadou Onana has been part of that midfield pivot for Aston Villa. It's a bit surprising why Unai Emery would have put Onana on the bench. It's got to be a fitness issue, surely, because, oh, that's a needless push there by Morgan Rogers. Hi, Manny, what's up? 0-0, not too bad. Didn't go for the movie? been a good start here though. Into the 15th minute, 0-0. Aston Villa have been feeding on scraps. Chelsea have been dictating most of the play. Chelsea's delivery in the final third has to improve though. Need to see a whole lot better. Try to get Cole Palmer involved a lot more. We're seeing Palmer playing on that right hand side half space. It's been a good start here though. Into the 15th. Are you sure, Manny? Seems okay from my end. Check again. Thanks. Here's Cucurella. Yeah, thumbs up for a good Chelsea performance. Thumbs down for a terrible Chelsea performance. So far, so good. Neutral. Have to make sure defensively we are solid here. Cannot give Aston Villa any sort of encouragement throughout the first half. 15 minutes has been steady. Not spectacular. Here's Reece James, once again showcasing his versatility. Played in midfield against Newcastle, now playing as that right-hand side centre half. Going long here as Lindelof defends quite comfortably. Chelsea win the ball back. Cucurella's putting the pressure on. Nearly broke there for Boubacar Kamara as Moises Caicedo switches the ball onto the right-hand side. It's Pedro Neto now. His quality has been pretty poor so far. Delegates to Reece. Moises Caicedo. Back to Trevor Chalobah. What's up, Shagun? What's up, Chirag? Aa gaya? Here's Chalobah onto the right-hand side. Shut up, dude. Not today. Here's Reece James now. Finds Chalobah. 7 in a row for Unai Emery. Can he make it 8? Be an incredible record. They have won at Stamford Bridge, say 2 seasons ago. 1-0 was an Ollie Watkins winner. Since then, Villa found it difficult at the bridge, but when we do go to Villa Park, Aston Villa often do take the 3 points. Here's Caicedo. Chelsea's play very static here. Aston Villa are looking to push up the pitch here with their forwards. You can see Daniel Malen, who's got the pace. Chelsea inviting the press. What a pass that is by Enzo Fernandez. Finds Reece James on the right-hand side. They play the press brilliantly. Reece trying to force that pass. Well defended by Ian Maatsen again. Ian Maatsen has not put a foot wrong in this first half. Caicedo, Palmer turns. Lovely bit of movement there from Cole Palmer. He's been swarmed by 4 players. Finds Garnacho. Here's Enzo Fernandez. It's just wide. Brilliant move there from Chelsea. Well, Cole Palmer, the architect in the middle there. Lovely turn. He attracts 4 Aston Villa players there. Alejandro Garnacho immediately finds Enzo Fernandez. 1 touch to get it out of his feet. And he can't curl that into the corner. Emiliano Martinez was rooted to his spot. Chelsea have created 2 very good opportunities. First for Palmer. And now for Enzo Fernandez. Again, Moises Caicedo has just been outstanding in midfield. He's been a constant pest. Aston Villa have not been able to settle on the ball. Caicedo just puts out fires everywhere on the pitch. Here's Badiashile. Finds Rob Sanchez. Now Badiashile again. Will have had just the 2 touches in the Chelsea box so far. Sanchez not having to make a meaningful save so far, but never know with Villa. They have overperformed their XG throughout the campaign. So you never know. We've seen Morgan Rogers who can pull out stunners from absolutely nowhere. But it's Pedro Neto down the right-hand side now. Chelsea looking to extend their advantage here. Decent ball into the box. It's Enzo Fernandez crashing the box. Brilliant defending there. I think that was Matty Cash. Might have a head injury here. Chelsea carry on. It's Alejandro Garnacho. That's really poor there from Garnacho. Again, in tight areas, Garnacho's close control is really, really poor. It was Matty Cash. He was holding the back of his neck there, but he felt that there was a bit of contact on him. It was Enzo Fernandez who did make that run. Excellent from Matty Cash. Doesn't get a head injury there. Might have been a bit of whiplash when he did fall. Better there from Pedro Neto in terms of delivery. But Neto, every time he has to make a decision quickly, does have a better final ball. Every time he puts his head down, you know the delivery is going to be really poor. Into the 20th minute. Unai Emery will not be happy with the performance so far. The result is ideal at the bridge. Even if they get a point here, it's a very good point for Aston Villa. They're 5 points behind Arsenal. Villa do have firepower on the bench. Ollie Watkins. If things don't go according to plan for Villa or they have to chase the game, they can go with Marlon and Ollie Watkins. Matty Cash seems to be okay to continue. 20 minutes on the clock, 0-0 at the bridge here. Two big opportunities for Chelsea. One falling to Palmer, one to Enzo Fernandez. Neither taken. Again, Caicedo picks up the loose ball, immediately finds Alejandro Garnacho on the left-hand side. Here's Garnacho, first time ball in. That's such a poor ball again, but it's Caicedo. It's a brilliant block. It's Pedro Neto, tries to get the shot away. It's Alejandro Garnacho. Chelsea making a mess of this attack, but keep it alive. Fernandez, Cole Palmer in a tight area. Good work there. Surely a foul by Enzo Fernandez. Yep. Referee tried to play on, but clear foul by Enzo Fernandez. Possibly on John McGinn there. Again, Chelsea have to get a shot on goal there, but a couple of them are blocked very well. Again, Garnacho down the left-hand side does not look like a smooth player down that left-hand side. It looks a bit clunky. And there's a lot of space to run into. He's a devastating player, but when the block is low, Garnacho needs to show a bit more creativity in terms of wing play. I wonder which language Enzo Fernandez and the referee are speaking in, because Enzo speaks very little English. There's a clear foul on John McGinn, was on Buendia rather. Two Argentines colliding there. Enzo a bit fortunate not to pick up a yellow card. The only reason why was deep in the Aston Villa territory. Caicedo has had a couple of fouls. Enzo's had a foul as well now. Have to make sure that the discipline is top notch. Villa will take their time here with every set piece, every free kick opportunity. They've absorbed all the early pressure, and to their credit, they've kept it at 0-0. Martinez goes long. Again, no Watkins. But Marlon does so well to get away from Badiashile. Badiashile has to do better there. Caicedo shows great composure. Palmer to Joao Pedro, looks to spin Lindelof. Martson with a lovely fizz pass to John McGinn. McGinn in a central position. Here's Morgan Rogers. Great feet there. Lovely clip pass to Buendia from a tight angle on his weaker right foot. Reece James will be able to collect the ball and feed Pedro Neto. Here's Cole Palmer. Chelsea moving the ball well here. Enzo Fernandez. Benoit Badiashile. Again, beautiful from back to front. Here's Marc Cucurella. Finds Garnacho. Looking to isolate Matty Cash. Here's Garnacho. Decent cutback, but well defended again. This time Yuri Tielemans. And now Aston Villa looking to a counter-attack here. Beautiful pass at the outside of the boot. And Trevor Chalobah showcasing his pace in abundance. Brilliant recovery there from Trevor Chalobah. Morgan Rogers is quick. Trevor Chalobah just accelerated in time. Here's Enzo Fernandez. Chelsea with nearly 75% of the ball. All the attempts to the home side. Aston Villa just hung in there. Been in their mid-block. Made sure that Chelsea have having to do a bit special in terms of team or individual play. Here's Caicedo. Finds Trevor Chalobah. Chelsea players need to demand for the ball here. Badiashile, Garnacho, can he take on Cash this time? He is stretching the pitch down that left-hand side. Here's Garnacho, couple of step overs, goes back to Cucurella. Here's Benoit Badiashile. Chelsea slowing the pace down before we quicken it up again. On the right-hand side is Pedro Neto. Thought about the left-footed ball in. It's Joao Pedro. What a save. Emi Martinez does brilliantly. Pedro keeps his feet. Well defended. Emi Buendia takes a real chance there. Tielemans looking to bail them out. Last touch might have come of Joao Pedro. Chelsea coming closer and closer with the attacks here. Lovely ball this from Pedro Neto to find Joao Pedro. Doesn't have time to take a touch. Has to be a first-time finish. Emi Martinez makes himself as big as possible. Deftest of touch there from Joao Pedro, looking for back-to-back league goals. 5 goals and 3 assists for the former Brighton man. £50 million acquisition in the summer, was originally bought as a backup number 10, but after his Club World Cup performance, Chelsea decided that he's going to be the number 9. Here's Cucurella, finds Enzo Fernandez. Enzo has looked much better in this game. Scored a cracker against Villa in this corresponding fixture last year. Chelsea won 3-0 with Enzo Fernandez, Nicholas Jackson and Cole Palmer scoring that evening in one of Chelsea's best performances last season. Here's Enzo Fernandez. 25 minutes on the clock here. Will get nervy at the bridge, but Chelsea have been patient. They have been aggressive. Aston Villa did pull out the 3 points against Manchester United, but weren't at their fluent best. Manchester United a bit sloppy in terms of the manner of which they allowed Morgan Rogers to really shoot from that range on both occasions. They were 2 splendid goals, but maybe defensively they could have done slightly better. Tielemans digs his team out of a hole, but that pass goes straight to Caicedo, who switches it immediately to Garnacho down the left-hand side. Here's Alejandro Garnacho. That's a terrible touch. Enzo Fernandez, brilliant block. Play continues. Caicedo does well. It's Reece James onto the right-hand side. Pedro Neto, ball into the box. They clear it away again. Chelsea keep the pressure, but the final ball is missing here. A lot of cutbacks, but no Chelsea player getting onto the end of it. Brilliant first touch there by Moises Caicedo. Chelsea all over Aston Villa here. Here's Enzo Fernandez. Onto the right-hand side. Pedro Neto. And decides to keep the ball in patient manner. Here's Marc Cucurella. Lovely touch there by Moises Caicedo. Here's Cole Palmer. Space opening up here for Palmer. Takes an extra touch and don't understand why he chopped on his right foot there. Villa play out the press beautifully, but Chelsea keep the pressure. Brilliant there from Trevor Chalobah. The foul has been given a bit late there by Emi Buendia. You're on Hotstar too, right, Chirag? I'm not sure why. 30 seconds. I think Manny has the same thing. I'm using Hotstar as well. Same platform. 27 minutes on the clock here. At least that's the one that is showing. But if it's the YouTube one, maybe it's the lag which it comes with. Yep. Free kick for Villa. Yuri Tielemans keeps it short to his French compatriot, Camara. Here's Victor Lindelof. Finds Emiliano Martinez. And Villa being patient here, trying to prey on Chelsea's vulnerabilities. Not closing games, not being clinical enough. Here's Trevor Chalobah. Brilliant carry there. Surely a foul by Ian Maatsen, who was dragged out of position there, but Chelsea played quickly. Onto the right-hand side is Pedro Neto. Moises Caicedo with a quick scan. Keeps it short to Reece James. Now Trevor Chalobah finds Benoit Badiashile. Crispy pass there onto the left-hand side to Alejandro Garnacho. He's been up against Matty Cash on multiple occasions in this first half. Hasn't got the better of the Polish right-back yet. Here's Badiashile. Trevor Chalobah surveying his options, deciding to keep it short. And very patient this from Chelsea. Villa moving from side to side quite comfortably. You need to take a bit more risks. Pedro Neto is in acres of space on the right-hand side, but Chelsea finally play it to him through Reece James. Here's Pedro Neto. Reece joins in the attack from right-sided centre-half. All the Chelsea players, barring the goalkeeper, in the Aston Villa half. Badiashile with another lovely pass to Garnacho on the left-hand side. Here's Alejandro Garnacho. Loses control of the ball momentarily. Oh, that's a poor foul there by Matty Cash. He goes lunging in there. Garnacho, not the most confidence of first touch, but he brought it under control. Gets away from Matty Cash. I don't think the challenge warrants a yellow card. This is a very harsh decision by the looks of it. Somebody has picked up a yellow card. I think it is Matty Cash who's got a wry smile on his face now. Whether or not it's only for the challenge or something he said after the challenge. Either way, it's a needless yellow card for Matty Cash to pick up there. Garnacho's going nowhere, so to go lunging in, it's a very curious decision there from Matty Cash. Yep, it's a very poor decision. It's just chopped in. He's not going anywhere. More importantly, Chelsea have a free kick now. But from open play, it's been nearly moments. Maybe set piece opens up the Aston Villa defence. So Pedro Neto put in a terrible ball from the other side. This better be Reece James territory. I trust the right foot of Reece more than anything else in this team here. 30 minutes on the clock. Chelsea looking for the opener. Reece lets that go. Plays it short to Cole Palmer. On the stretch finds Caicedo. Chelsea keep it alive somehow. It's Reece James again. Floats the ball into the box. Good header there by Daniel Marlin. Badiashile looks to put that into an area, but nobody's making the run. It's a wasted free kick attempt there. Every time we play it short, have to get it spot on there. But Badiashile trying to make himself a nuisance in the Aston Villa box. But yet another attack that Aston Villa have defended comfortably. Enzo Maresca getting a good vantage point here, serving his one-match touchline ban. Haven't seen Willy Caballero any short of the assistant manager. For those wondering, yeah, that Willy Caballero, the ex-Man City and Chelsea goalkeeper. João Pedro has been non-existent in the first half. Played very few balls to him, and anytime we try to get him involved, it's back to goal under a lot of pressure. I want to see that combination between Cole Palmer and João Pedro. Either one of those players trying to slip them through with a through pass. Something that would be ideal. Knew this game was going to be difficult. Morgan Rogers does well, but he's been sandwiched there between Garnacho. Enzo Fernandez trying to carry. Garnacho does very well under pressure. Scoops the pass to Trevor Chalobah. And Chelsea need to reset quickly here. Chalobah taking an age to release the ball, but here's Caicedo. Wonderful pass by Caicedo. Again down the left-hand side to Garnacho. Garnacho, cross comes into the box. Oh, surely that's a pen. It's Victor Lindelof who gets into a entangled situation there with João Pedro. It's a half-hearted appeal there from Chelsea. Moises Caicedo has found Garnacho on multiple occasions with that quick switch here. I mean, look, João Pedro is not getting to the ball, but Victor Lindelof has made it look very, very clumsy. Might get away with it, but whew. Again, the only reason why that won't be a pen is because João Pedro is getting nowhere near the ball. But Victor Lindelof could have been a whole lot more tidier in terms of making that tackle. No harm done, and Chelsea once again looking to put pressure. Again, the midfield from Chelsea have been all over Aston Villa. Moises Caicedo has just been absolutely brilliant. Here's Pedro Neto. Neto goes on the outside of Maatsen. Brilliant from Pedro Neto. Chops on his left foot. Cross comes into the box. Good header by Cash. Caicedo picks up the loose ball. It's Cole Palmer now. Takes it away. Caicedo shows great feet. Now Reece James in the right-hand side half space. Pedro Neto now. Back to Reece. Cole Palmer. Reece again. Someone deliver. Nobody is. Pedro Neto delivers though. Poor ball again. I mean, with Cole Palmer, Reece James and Pedro Neto has to be last in terms of delivering the ball into the box when those three options are there. One of Reece James or Cole Palmer has to take responsibility in that situation, not delegate. Here's Caicedo. It's been all over the Aston Villa midfield. We've seen very little of Tielemans or Kamara. Garnacho down the left-hand side. He has been relentless. All our attacks have been focused on that left-hand side. Cucurella floats the ball in. It's Reece James! It's just wide. Sat up nicely for the skipper. Well, Cucurella just puts in a hopeful ball into the box. It deflects kindly. It was a brilliant header actually by Pedro Neto. Heads it back to Reece James. Has to hit it first time. Hits that against the turf and skips away, and it's a goal kick for Aston Villa. Chelsea getting closer and closer, but the ball seems to get further and further away from goal. Aston Villa just looking to survive this first half. They've been nowhere near their best. Chelsea have struggled in first half of games. I would add this as a struggle too, but in terms of performance, it has been much, much better. Here's Buendia. Finds Yuri Tielemans. John McGinn. McGinn can switch it with his left foot. Pedro Neto does very well defensively and quickly releases Cole Palmer. Palmer on the right hand side. Can drop the shoulder. Decides to keep it. Decent pass to Cucurella. It's Garnacho down the left hand side again. Garnacho trying to do a bit of trickery. He fools no one, but it's Enzo Fernandez. Decent ball in. Joao Pedro trying to build that under control. Difficult technique there. Reece does brilliantly. Caicedo recycles. Cucurella will have to chase this down. Does very well, but it's not a decent pass there for Garnacho. We're finding Garnacho down the left hand side a lot. The number of times he's really successfully taken on Matty Cash has been a grand total of 0. Oh, Reece James on the stretch does brilliantly well. Every time Reece James goes on the slide, my heart does skip a beat. Last thing you want is Reece to have any sort of injury. Here's Pedro Neto, lovely turn. Cole Palmer. Fernandez finds Garnacho. Cucurella on the overlap. Ball into the box. Well defended by Matty Cash. It's a corner for Chelsea. Just under 10 minutes of normal time remain here. Chelsea have been knocking on the door relentlessly, but Aston Villa have kept Chelsea at bay so far. I'm seeing a lot of activity from the Chelsea players down that left-hand side. Garnacho, Cucurella, Enzo Fernandez and Moises Caicedo have constantly found Alejandro Garnacho down that left-hand side. But first corner of the match, it's taken the best part of 36 minutes. Reece James to take this one in. It will be a right-footed in-swinger. Martinez with an aggressive starting position. Reece clips the ball into the box towards the fast take. It's 1-0 to Chelsea. It goes all the way. I think that's 1-0 courtesy of Reece James. Villa don't defend the corner whatsoever. Reece just puts it into the danger area. Nobody takes control of the situation for Aston Villa, and Chelsea have the deserved lead at the bridge. But that goal might be credited to Reece James. Might have taken a touch on its way. But Reece James once again being clinical for us. It's a very good ball into the box. Nobody has a touch on it. That is very, very strange. This angle will give us a better look. Is that hit Trevor Chalobah? Gonna have to have a look again. Reece puts this into an area. Chalobah doesn't... Oh, hopefully it's not hit anybody's arm there. It's a really messy goal, but Chelsea will absolutely take it. Really hope nothing is there to rule out the goal. You never know with VAR, but it seems like the goal will be given. It's going to be one of the Cobham graduates, either Trevor Chalobah or Reece James. But the way that Chalobah was celebrating means that I think that will be given as a Reece James goal. Reece and Chelsea wait patiently here. They shouldn't be ruling this one out. And the goal's been given. 1-0 to Chelsea. It's been a lot of work to get that first goal. It came in contentious fashion, but we'll absolutely take it. Reece James seems to be scoring in back-to-back games in two very important matches as well. So Chelsea finally get the job done, but still a lot of football to go, especially in this first half. It's the first free kick that Aston Villa have had in the Chelsea half. Soon after we scored, we cannot concede. Chelsea holding an absurdly high line here. And the fast tick is what worries me here. We can see Morgan Rogers and Victor Lindelof both on that left-hand side. Chelsea heavily favouring with Joao Pedro and Pedro Neto keeping a close eye as Yuri Tielemans. It's a long ball forward. Joao Pedro does brilliantly well. It's an excellent clearance on it. Oh, that's a terrible clearance by Camara. And Pedro Neto finds Alejandro Garnacho. Chelsea looking to make it two very quickly here. Garnacho finds Pedro Neto. What a terrible touch by Pedro Neto. What a waste. Chelsea having a brilliant opportunity to make it 2 goals in very quick time. Here's Benoit Badiashile. Chalobah finds Moises Caicedo. Second goal before half-time would be the dream. Enzo Fernandez, beautiful switch out to the right-hand side to Pedro Neto. Has been lively. It's Reece James on the right-hand side. Can he turn provider? Brilliant ball in. Well attacked by Joao Pedro. Aston Villa do manage to clear that. Cucurella is tenacious and it's brilliant. Surely a foul there on Cuckoo. John McGinn lost out and has a swipe on the Spanish left-back. Will be lucky to avoid a yellow card. It's a bit cynical. Free kick for Chelsea. Another opportunity to unsettle the Aston Villa defence with some devilish balls in the box. Cucurella decides to take it short. Chelsea look to keep the pressure on Aston Villa. It's been a very good half now. With the goal, it does become a very good half. Aston Villa have rarely threatened. Rob Sanchez has had a comfortable game between the sticks and long may that continue. Chelsea looking to cut the distance between Chelsea to Aston Villa to 4 points with the victory here. Here's Sanchez. Finds Enzo Fernandez. Has found his rhythm in this game. The Argentine. His passes has been a lot more crispier. I mean, Moises Caicedo has just been supreme. I mean, he is just running the midfield. Reece James with a clever pass on the right-hand side. Here's Pedro Neto. It's another poor ball, easily defended by Victor Lindelof. It's a curious header. Finds Cole Palmer. It's a snapshot. It's on target. And Victor Lindelof does very well with his first action, but his clearance fell straight to Palmer. And Enzo Fernandez and Moises Caicedo's passing in midfield has been very, very crisp. Tielemans does beautifully, but Cucurella once again superb. The way he just anticipates that is excellent. But Villa play through the press. Here's Buendia, finds Tielemans, lovely pass to Maatsen in an inverted position, the left back. Caicedo goes lunging in, excellent challenge. Here's Daniel Malen. First involvement for the Dutchman. Oh, there's a poor bit of skill which Enzo Fernandez reads perfectly. Pedro Neto tries to keep the ball in play. Chelsea needed to show a bit more composure there with accurate passes instead. Turner of the ball and Aston Villa can regain composure. See, Moises Caicedo has been in close attendance of that midfield. Seen very little of Morgan Rogers as well. He'll be frustrated knowing that he has a lot to offer in terms of quality in the final third, but Aston Villa have not found him in those dangerous areas. Just over 2 minutes plus stoppage time remain. What has been a dominant first half from Chelsea, considering that Aston Villa have had no attempts. No attempts, period. None on target, none off target. It's been pretty much the perfect first half from Chelsea in terms of creating decent opportunities and scoring a goal. Fortuitous, we'll absolutely take it. Here's Martinez. The questions will be asked about him in terms of where he was for the Reece James corner. Again, Caicedo puts so much pressure on John McGinn. Caicedo feels that he's won the ball cleanly here. Might be a yellow card for the Ecuadorian. That's his third foul so far. Having a look whether or not did hit the arm of Joao Pedro on the way, but it's a tough angle. Feels that it might have hit his chest. Goal might go to Reece James, but won't see it been confirmed by the people live there, but we'll take it regardless. Here's Matty Cash. First forward action. Ooh, Enzo Fernandez's header has put us in a bit of a pickle. Fernandez should be able to get this away. Surely a foul there on Enzo. Morgan Rogers has to curl that. That's a high challenge on Enzo Fernandez. In that ankle region, Morgan Rogers is not happy about that decision. Aston Villa might be lucky to escape without a yellow card here, really. Have a look whether or not Enzo Fernandez was indeed caught. It was his header which put us under a bit of pressure. He did well to recover. It was Buendia and not... it's not much there by Emi Buendia, but does catch enough of Enzo Fernandez. Fernandez has done well in terms of defensive contributions. He's made some really good interceptions, and on the ball, it's been very good. Second goal has been elusive, but we'll take it in terms of a first half lead. If we can get the second before half time, it would be a game changer. Into stoppage time in the first half. Unai Emery's side have been second best. No other way to slice it, as his team have been thoroughly outplayed here at Stamford Bridge, but he has weapons on the bench. Ollie Watkins definitely has to be coming on at some point in the second half. Can't play with Marlon and Ollie Watkins. Just 2 minutes of stoppage time at the end of the first half. Here's Emi Martinez. Sides a long punt forward. Badiashile defends with great strength, but it's a foul in the eyes of the referee. It is really unnecessary there from Benoit Badiashile. Well, Morgan Rogers was never really going to get there in terms of comfortable possession. Oh, that's really poor by Benoit Badiashile. It's a needless free kick conceded right before the end of the half. Out of absolutely nothing, Aston Villa have an opportunity to cause panic in the Chelsea box. That's where the Badiashile IQ has to be switched on, has to be turned up. And even if Morgan Rogers gets there first, he's going away from goal. He needs an excellent first touch to bring that under control. Badiashile just bundles him over. Poor decision making. Will it cost Chelsea here? Free kick in that right hand side half space. The right foot of Matty Cash is an option, but the left foot of John McGinn might be the wild card here. Aggressive starting position here from Rob Sanchez. Chelsea just inside their box in terms of holding their line. As Stamford Bridge hold their collective breath. McGinn delivers, should be a comfortable gather, and it is. What a waste of a free kick there by John McGinn. And Sanchez with a quick release finds Garnacho. Here's Cucurella. Oh, it's a poor pass. Again, the pressure has been put, but that will be that in terms of first half action. And Chelsea lead at the Bridge 1-0 against Aston Villa, and as it stands, back in the top four, 3 points behind Villa, and it has been a game of half chances for Chelsea. Reece James from the corner causing all sorts of problems. Yet to see who the last touch came off. Maybe give it to João Pedro, maybe to Trevor Chalobah. But I think the confirmation has come that it has taken the touch of João Pedro, which means João Pedro gets his 6th Premier League goal. Half-time, Chelsea pretty much in a position where we should have been considering how that first half went. Unai Emery and Aston Villa have been disappointing in the first half. No attempts, no shots. They have been completely neutralized. Chelsea's midfield have been levels ahead of Aston Villa's midfield of Kamara. And of course, Yuri Tielemans. Well, it's been a weekend of expected wins so far in the Premier League. Manchester City getting the job done, courtesy of that late Ryan Cherki winner against Nottingham Forest at the Forest Ground. Continuing to put pressure on Arsenal, who got the job done against Brighton. They were 2-0 up after Jorginho Rutter scored an own goal to make it 2-0 to Arsenal. And Gomez scoring in the 65th minute made it a very nervy ending, but Mikel Arteta and Arsenal get the job done again. They're winning ugly here, and that is a sign of potential champions, but they've got Manchester City breathing down their necks just with 2 points the difference. Liverpool continue their resurgence, has been very, very good. Could not buy a win in November. Now suddenly looking a whole lot better. Ekitike, Wirtz now getting involved, getting his first Premier League goal since joining the club in that £120 million move from Leverkusen. Top of the table, looking very, very tight. That 3rd, 4th, 5th and 6th spot, absolutely nothing to separate the two. And even the teams who are in 8th, 9th and 10th, couple of victories could really take you up the table or propel you down. You could see Newcastle yesterday. A win would have taken them close to Manchester United or level on points with Manchester United. Instead, United climb up the table and Newcastle now languishing, with questions being asked with Eddie Howe, who's not been able to maximize his team, the investment that they've made. Yes, they lost Alexander Isak, but quite a lot of outlay was made with the likes of Nick Woltemade, Johan Wissa, Anthony Elanga, all added to the forward line, but goals have been hard to come by. Did score twice against Chelsea, but both were balls into the box rather than something inventive. That loss to Sunderland was a damaging one because of the manner of which Newcastle folded. They rarely look threatening. Even against Manchester United, in the second half, Newcastle had all of the ball, but there were no attacks, which San Lamens thought that he made an excellent save or anything last ditch. There weren't even attempts. They just kept the ball in a tidy manner, and everything else was pretty much off the cuff. And Manchester United keeping their second clean sheet of the season. Both clean sheets coming up against the Wear-Tan sides, one against Sunderland and now one against Newcastle United, as Ruben Amorim has somehow, by hook or by crook, with luck rather than judgment, has kept his team in a lofty position here. Will be 6th after match week 18. Crystal Palace are yet to play. Victory for them will help their cause, with Manchester United now having a positive goal difference after nearly 2.5 seasons. Manchester City have really now stepped into gear. This is where City look the most dangerous. They're scoring goals for fun. They score goals away, not just one. They score 2s, 3s, even 4s and 5s as they did against Fulham. And if you see someone like Erling Haaland, who's got 19 Premier League goals not scoring, someone the likes of Foden, Reinders, Doku, and even now Ryan Cherki now joining in the fray. And if they add Antoine Semenyo in the January window, I mean, that is further proof that Manchester City are not looking to back down here. Every time they see themselves in a position where they just have to make that extra step in Jan, they have no hesitation in doing so. They do it, they get the player in, they ask questions later, and that's why they are the serious institution that they are. And Pep Guardiola is not looking to go 2 seasons without a Premier League trophy, considering how he has dominated the league since joining in 2017. In terms of stats, it's been all Chelsea. Aston Villa with a lot of zeros on their column. Shots on target, XG, corners, all 0. 3 touches in the Chelsea box. Nothing really has translated into a Rob Sanchez save. Chelsea cannot afford to get complacent at any stage in the game. That second goal is critical. I would like to see Estevao in this team as quickly as possible. Get him on that right-hand side. Shift maybe Pedro Neto on that left. Because we've seen Garnacho, who's had a lot of opportunities to try and unsettle Matty Cash. Chirag asked, do you see Pep leaving at the end of the season? If so, who do you think should replace? Pep might leave. I mean, we've been saying this every year, right? When Pep Guardiola wins the league, if he wins the treble, he'll leave. He's just not leaving. This is home for him. I mean, this is the perfect environment. Why would he leave? I mean, he gets backed every summer. He's got a plethora of talent. He's got Ryan Cherki, Phil Foden, Doku, Semenyo, Haaland. Why would he leave now? Might be exhaustion and burnout, but from Barcelona, Bayern Munich, Manchester City, where do you go from there? Pep Guardiola, if you ask me, should stay exactly where he is. It's not ideal for the rest of the league. I mean, the rest of the league are just waiting for when Pep Guardiola eventually leaves. I mean, it's 10 seasons more than he expected him, because he used to do cycles of 3 years, 3 at Barcelona, 3 at Bayern Munich, and now suddenly 10 seasons at Manchester City. But talk about replacements for Pep Guardiola. Now, in terms of his style, I think Roberto De Zerbi is brilliant in terms of front foot play, dominating oppositions, but he is a combustible character. Well, De Zerbi, he's doing really well at Marseille, to be fair. Really like him in Champions League, and the way that he has converted Mason Greenwood into a absolute gun forward, scoring goals for fun, winning Liga top scorer of the year last season, still maintaining a good bit of balance, but yeah, he is unproven in terms of titles. Look, you're heading into a managerial market where you're not going to get a lot of proven winners. You see, Real Madrid had to take a chance with Xabi Alonso. Yes, he had that invincible season with Leverkusen, and you're seeing how it's all turning out. It's been tough for him at Real Madrid. Everyone's taking a chance on unproven managers. I mean, Chelsea had to go with Enzo Maresca. He did win the championship, but other than that, absolutely no top flight of experience. So you might have to take the gamble and go think outside the box. But stylistically, I think Roberto De Zerbi is the best in terms of trying to match Pep Guardiola in terms of that dominant style of play. But yeah, with De Zerbi, it's all about that combustible element that he is. He does not take nonsense. He is a very demanding manager. He's going to get the riches at Manchester City. But again, when you go from Pep Guardiola, you know that there is going to be a dip at some point for Manchester City. But 1-0 for Chelsea, half time, going pretty much as per plan. We're just minutes away from the start of the second half. Chelsea, having done the job in the first, need to kill the game off in the second half, that's for sure. We cannot allow Aston Villa back into this contest, considering they have been non-existent in that first half, and it is absolutely critical that Chelsea get the job done in the second half. Need to get back-to-back wins in the Premier League at home after the 2-0 victory against Everton. Cole Palmer and Malo Gusto getting the job done on that occasion. The goal was credited to João Pedro getting the last touch. It was luck rather than judgment, but he gets his 6th Premier League goal. Good return for the £50 million signing from Brighton as Chelsea players get back on the deck here. So far it's been a very controlled performance, but now it's all up to Chelsea to show that maturity, go up a level and close the game out as quickly as possible. As the players come out for the start of the second half, it's business time. Well, so far so good for Chelsea. It's all about getting the job done. Re-establish our position in the top 4, reduce the gap to 4 points to Aston Villa, and it would be the perfect weekend with all the other big teams getting the job done. Chelsea looking to be the last one here to end off what has been a busy Saturday. Teams all over the country getting their job done here as Chelsea looking to kick off the start of the second half. Well, Cole Palmer gets things up and running for the start of the second half. 1-0 to Chelsea, courtesy of that João Pedro goal from the Reece James corner. Other than that, Chelsea have had 2 opportunities in that first half, courtesy of Cole Palmer and, of course, Enzo Fernandez just curling wide. Aston Villa created absolutely nothing in that first half. Camara being put under pressure there. Enzo Fernandez nicks the ball, but unfairly according to the referee. Enzo and Caicedo have been biting into the challenges. Caicedo has barely put a foot wrong, but he's committed a couple of fouls. Aston Villa in midfield have struggled there. Almost feels like Amadou Onana's time has to come here along with Ollie Watkins. They need a better focal point because Daniel Malin has really struggled to keep hold of the ball in the forward areas. Once Watkins comes into the fray, and then we'll know that that ability will go up a notch. Here's Buendia. Enzo Fernandez does very well with Reece James. Here's Enzo onto the left-hand side. Garnacho, who's had a very poor first half, floats the ball into the box, and it's really, really uncertain goalkeeping by Emi Martinez. Well, Pedro Neto is convinced that it might have taken a touch off the arm of an Aston Villa player. He is absolutely convinced here. Reece James just pushing Pedro Neto out of the way. Let's have a look at this incident here. It's hit the arm of Ian Maatsen, but he's closed his eye, he's dipped his head. It is accidental if I've ever seen one, but it does strike his arm. Pedro Neto has a case, but it's not the strongest of case. I think Maatsen might get away with this one because he does look a bit nervous, but he's happy to see play continue here. Will be a corner though for Chelsea. Good start to the second half. Ollie Watkins, Luca Dean, Bogard, Onana, all options on the Aston Villa bench as Palmer whips the ball in. It comes back with interest. Moises Caicedo finds Rob Sanchez. Sanchez had an extremely comfortable evening between the sticks in the first half. Long may that continue as Sanchez finds Reece James on the right-hand side. Reece has played as the right-sided centre-back today. And Chelsea going back into their back 4 shape here. Here's Benoit Badiashile. Cucurella has played a lot in midfield, but we have seen him overlap Garnacho down that left-hand side. Need to see better from Garnacho in terms of final ball. Those final actions have to be a lot more measured. Cucurella does very well to win the ball. It's a snappy challenge. Konza takes a heavy touch. Garnacho does very well. Oh, that is so fortunate for Aston Villa. They get away with that one. Alejandro Garnacho might have won the ball fairly there. The referee gives a huge respite to Aston Villa. Chelsea were in there. They were screaming forward. I have to have a look at that foul now. How much of contact was made by Alejandro Garnacho there? Him and Enzo Fernandez are on the loose ball like a flash. Here's Kamara. Finds Matty Cash. Tielemans. He's lost out to Cole Palmer. Brilliant there from Cole. Goes around the Belgian. Cole Palmer on the left-hand side. Garnacho is onside. Delegates the duties to Cole Palmer. Again, Chelsea packing that left-hand side. Palmer. Now Reece James also on the left-hand side. Here's Benoit Badiashile. It's a different setup here from Chelsea now. Badiashile with a beautiful switch there to Pedro Neto. I can't keep the ball under duress. Poor there from Pedro Neto. That second goal could not come any sooner here. Chelsea need that comfort, need the cushion goal. The longer they keep this game open, more chances for Aston Villa to get back. Buendia does very well with the switch. Matty Cash up against Cucurella. Cucurella does magnificently well and finds an accurate pass to Alejandro Garnacho down the left-hand side. Brilliant from Cucurella. Here's Garnacho. Clever pass to Pedro Neto down the right-hand side. Neto goes on the outside. It's a poor ball in. It's a nothing ball, really. Lindelof clears easily. And the quality down the wings for Chelsea have been abysmal. Both Garnacho and Pedro Neto struggling with the final ball. Neto does well. João Pedro does brilliantly. Chelsea win the ball back high up the pitch again. It's Cole Palmer down the right-hand side. Palmer tries to thread the pass. Well defended by Victor Lindelof. Goes on the outside. Great feed there by Palmer. Lovely nutmeg in the box as well. Palmer saucing out here. Reece James. Palmer again in the half space. Pedro Neto. Here's Moises Caicedo. Chelsea have Aston Villa pinned outside their box. Saw this in the first half on multiple occasions. Here's Cucurella. Enzo Fernandez. Badiashile. Excellent possession here for Chelsea. Here's Chalobah. Everybody getting a touch, including Rob Sanchez now. Sanchez, very good pass to Chalobah down the right-hand side. And Chalobah doesn't trust to go forward first time. Ooh, Rob Sanchez takes a chance and it turns into a magnificent pass, which Reece James nearly brought under control tremendously well. But a throw in here opens up space in the central areas for Aston Villa. Here's Yuri Tielemans. Rogers. It's Morgan Rogers. Thought about the shot. And that's the first attempt that Aston Villa have had. It's a timid one from Morgan Rogers. Might have taken a nick on its way. I think it's Aston Villa's first corner. It's a nothing shot really from Morgan Rogers. More out of frustration rather than anything else. Just takes a nick and Aston Villa, out of absolutely nothing, have their first corner of the match. 6 minutes into the second half. Chelsea have defended very well so far, but haven't been tested with the set pieces. Matty Cash. It's the exact same angle in which Reece James delivered for the goal. It was very close to the goalkeeper on that occasion. Will Matty Cash take a page out of the Reece James book? Or will he go for a bit more depth with his delivery? Matty Cash delivers. Great whip on it. Sanchez with a brilliant claim. Outstanding goalkeeping and a quick release for Cole Palmer. Chelsea turning defense into attack in the blink of an eye here. Here's Cole Palmer now. Finds João Pedro. Plays the 1-2 brilliantly. Cole Palmer. What a goal this would be for Chelsea. And the clearance by Jean McGinn is just wide. Alejandro Garnacho screaming at the far stick. Chelsea play some magnificent football here. Cole Palmer and João Pedro with the most delicious of 1-2s. Palmer flashes that across the face of goal. Jean McGinn with the captain's interception there. Could have very easily found the back of the net. It's just wide. Chance again there for Chelsea. Palmer putting it on a plate there for Garnacho, who's just ready to pull the trigger at the far stick. John McGinn doing so well. Chelsea take the corner shot. It's Reece James. Outside of the boot pass to Garnacho. Thought about the shot. Definitely should not shoot. Moises Caicedo. What a pass. Palmer. Oh, that was nearly champagne football there from Chelsea. Moises Caicedo's pings to both sides of the pitch have been just immaculate in this match. This time's fine Palmer. Palmer tries to hit that over his shoulder on the volley. Enzo Maresca would be so thrilled in terms of the performance that Chelsea have put here. 104 passes in the final third for Chelsea and 7 for Aston Villa. And the scoreline is 1-0. That's why stats never tell you the story. Chelsea need to quicken the pace here. That second goal, still elusive. Reece James onto the right-hand side. Here's Pedro Neto. Neto goes on the outside of Martin. Neto chops onto his left foot. Again, poor bit of skill there. Martinez happy to just clear that away. Chalobah with aggressive defending finds Reece James. Here's Moises Caicedo. James again. Here's Benoit Badiashile. Chelsea defensively have not been troubled in this match so far. Neto drifts infield. It's another poor touch, but Moises Caicedo wins it back. Reece James in the right back position. What a ball! Oh, what a save! Hits the crossbar. Garnacho becomes unselfish in an opportunity where he's thought about the shot. He really should have pulled the trigger. Chelsea relentless with the pressure. Reece James's ball comes off the crossbar. Might have taken a touch of Emiliano Martinez. Aston Villa somehow holding on here. Here's Pedro Neto, now on the left-hand side. Moises Caicedo, Cole Palmer tries to get away from Emi Buendia. Here's Tielemans, brilliant from Reece James. It's outstanding. Oh, that pass from Badiashile is asking a lot of Enzo Fernandez. It's a chance here on the counter-attack for Aston Villa. Here's Emi Buendia, finds Morgan Rogers. Don't let him shoot here on the left-hand side. Morgan Rogers cuts on his right foot. Clever back heel. Buendia, deflection. Sanchez can't prevent the corner. Aston Villa slowly growing into the game now. This ball by Reece James was a devilish delivery. Oof. It goes crashing into the crossbar. Don't think it took a touch of Martinez. Let's have a look here. He's backpedaling. Oh, what a save that was from Martinez. It doesn't come off the crossbar. It's a brilliant tip from the Argentine number 1. Chelsea have come close on a couple of occasions, but Aston Villa slowly now clicking into gear. A couple of corners. 10 minutes into the second half, Aston Villa still in this match here, despite being nowhere near their levels. It was 3rd versus 5th before the start of kickoff. Chelsea managed to keep the result. We go back into the top 4. 4 points behind 3rd place Villa. And Rob Sanchez's cross-claiming has been one of his elite attributes since joining the club. We need that to continue as Aston Villa look to deliver this ball in. Reece and Morgan Rogers in a wrestling match there. Morgan Rogers trying to get the better of Reece James. Good luck. Reece James is an absolute tank. Reece has got 2 arms around Rogers. He has to be careful here. Corner still not delivered. So much wrestling happening here. The yellow card will be brandished. Now I think Reece James and Morgan Rogers are both picking up yellow cards here. I think only Morgan Rogers, yep, both him and Reece James have picked up a needless yellow card. Just an old-fashioned wrestling match in the box even before the corner was delivered. It shows you that Reece James not allowing Morgan Rogers any sort of momentum here. They play it short though with the corner. Cash delivers. Sanchez, magnificent. His cross-claiming is so elite. And it's an excellent distribution here. And Cucurella finds himself in the attacking midfield position. Cucurella switches it to Garnacho. Garnacho goes wide. He looks to curl that into the top corner. Chelsea once again profit from a quick release from Rob Sanchez after a brilliant, lovely interception. Garnacho tries the audacious. Can't find the corner, and this is what we were worried about, that Aston Villa have stayed in the game despite being nowhere near their levels and now making a triple substitution. Amadou Onana, Jadon Sancho and Ollie Watkins all coming onto the pitch at the same time here. Jadon Sancho, of course, was on loan at Chelsea last season. Chelsea had a loan with an obligation to buy. Chelsea decided to pay the 5 million fine and send Sancho back to Manchester United at the end of the season. And Aston Villa, struggling in the transfer window, went shopping to Manchester United and came out with Victor Lindelof and Jadon Sancho. Well, the script is written for Sancho, of course, a boyhood Chelsea fan. And of course, Amadou Onana in midfield is a real destroyer for Aston Villa. Well, Daniel Malin had a pretty much anonymous game. He comes off for Ollie Watkins. John McGinn is off as well for Amadou Onana. Jadon Sancho also coming on as McGinn. Passes the captain's armband to Ezri Kwanzaa as Buendia, Marlon and James McGinn. John McGinn rather, all off. And Watkins, Sancho and Onana on for Aston Villa. Triple substitution. Will Enzo Maresca respond with changes of our own? We've let this game dangle around for far too long. Emery would have urged his team to keep this at 1-0 for as long as possible and try and nick a goal at some point. We know with Ollie Watkins, all he needs is a chance or even a half chance. Chelsea in the wings have to be a lot more decisive. Garnacho and Pedro Neto have been fed balls time and time again with opportunities for better deliveries. I think Estevao down the right hand side would really change the game for us. And Pedro Neto might shift onto the left hand side or make way for Estevao. Lovely touch there. Here's Garnacho, loses out that duel. Here's Onana with his first involvement. It's a bit of a heavy touch. Decides to go back to Victor Lindelof. Cole Palmer applying the pressure on the former Manchester United centre-back. Lasted 8 years at Manchester United after his £30 million move from Benfica under Jose Mourinho, where he was signed. Here's Ian Maatsen. Started off the game very well in terms of his interceptions and reading of the play, but hasn't really contributed in terms of an attacking force. Here's Lindelof. Finds Ian Maatsen. Chelsea once again applying the high press. Lovely carry here from Ian Maatsen. Finds Boubacar Kamara. Switches it on to the right hand side. Cucurella reads that brilliantly, as he has throughout the match here. Now Cucurella down the left hand side. Finds Alejandro Garnacho. 30 minutes remain in this tight and tense encounter. Garnacho, Enzo Fernandez. Joao Pedro tries to just lay that off to Cole Palmer. Aston Villa play through the Chelsea press quite comfortably here, and they have the overload. It's 1v1 if they play this right here. It's Yuri Tielemans. It's Boubacar Kamara. What a save! Rob Sanchez keeps it at 1-0. Magnificent save from the Chelsea number one, and the chance for the counter-attack is killed as Chelsea can't sustain the attack here. Well, Villa play through our centre with so much ease. Ollie Watkins with a clever pass. It takes a touch of Trevor Chalobah, but it falls right into the path of Kamara. Brilliant, smothering save by Rob Sanchez. Called into action for the first time in terms of making a save, and he comes up trumps. Well, Chelsea desperate for that clean sheet, and Aston Villa finally pulling out a warning shot at Chelsea's goal. Far too easy there in the central position. The inquest has to be led as Victor Lindelof drives forward with the ball. Aston Villa looking a whole lot more confident here. This is what I was worried about. Here's Kamara, who should have scored. Finds Sancho on the right hand side. Cross comes into the box. Oh, Sanchez once again so alert. Chelsea fall asleep there, because on the left hand side, I think that was Morgan Rogers. It's completely unmarked. Sanchez was quick off his line, but Chelsea just falling asleep now. Game very much open. That second goal elusive. Again, Badiashile with a criminal pass, and it's Morgan Rogers now. Threads it through. Chance for Aston Villa. It's 1-1. This time Chelsea don't get lucky, and Ollie Watkins has been on the pitch for 2 minutes and he has made the impact. It's a sucker punch of a goal, but Chelsea don't pay heed of the warning before that. They turn the ball over. Badiashile gives the ball away. Aston Villa within 2 passes open up the Chelsea defence, and it's 1-1 at the bridge. That is such a poor goal to concede. I mean, all our own doing here. Badiashile, what is that pass? He has killed us with that pass. Through ball in. Watkins is onside. Again, Sanchez does very well. It takes a cruel double deflection and finds its way to the back of the net, but Chelsea have only themselves to blame. Watkins shrugs off Chalobah. It's very fortuitous, but they won't mind one bit here, Aston Villa. They don't deserve the equaliser, but they do have it. Has it come off the arm of Ollie Watkins? I really do hope so. With the double deflection, Unai Emery celebrates. He knows that his team have done so well to stay in this match. And they've picked the sucker punch here. Chelsea's December continues to be a nightmare. As it stands, 1 win in 6. We'll talk about immediate impact. Ollie Watkins, 3 minutes since he's on the pitch. Nearly created one for Kamara. And when the opportunity fell to himself, bit of luck, but made the right centre forward run, immediately making the impact. And now Chelsea have to do it all over again. This is poor from Chelsea because we've allowed Aston Villa back in the game. Enzo Maresca has not been proactive with his subs. He saw that Aston Villa made a triple substitution. We haven't responded with subs of our own. We've let the game drift, and Aston Villa once again find a goal back, and now Chelsea have to do it again. Villa have got fresh players on the pitch now. Chelsea looking a bit lackadaisical now. Ezri Konsa, what a pass onto the right-hand side for Matty Cash. Cut back. Reece James clears. With the two defenders nearly opening up Chelsea there. Ezri Konsa with one of the passes of the match. Expansive pass to Matty Cash down the right-hand side. Villa had committed bodies in the box. This is a completely different Aston Villa side in the second half. Chelsea defensively looking all at sea here. Cash, Sancho. Look at that. Aston Villa for the first time in the match have both centre halves in the Chelsea half. That has not happened for the best part of 65 minutes. Goals change momentums. That goal really was a sucker punch. Here's Maatsen. Chelsea, by the looks of it, will end match week 18th and 5th. And once again, Aston Villa, that 7-point gap between us and third really is damaging. And Liverpool go ahead of us. It's really poor from us. Really, really poor if we don't get all 3 points. Here's Kamara. Lovely pass by the Frenchman. And completely different Aston Villa side as Jadon Sancho gets away from Chalobah. And now Sancho down the left-hand side. Here's Morgan Rogers. Villa have the overlap. It's Ian Maatsen. What a save. Sanchez stands tall. And the former Chelsea man nearly makes it 2 for Aston Villa in real quick time. They have opened Chelsea up again. What a pass this is by Morgan Rogers. Ian Maatsen loses his balance but gets a clean strike. Sanchez just parries that away. And it's another corner. Aston Villa have turned the momentum around here. It's been all Villa. Come on, Enzo Maresca. This is where you need to make your money. Make the changes. We're dying out there. Our wing play has been subpar throughout the match and we really have paid for it. Here's Sancho. Clever pass by Yuri Tielemans. But Chelsea fall asleep there. It's Enzo Fernandez on the cover, who keeps a close eye on Ollie Watkins, and thankfully he does so. Villa getting corners after corners. This game has completely flipped on its head. We have only ourselves to blame. Leave the game open at 1-0. All Villa need is a moment of magic, a bit of luck. They got fortuitous. Since then have been excellent. Stressful times at the bridge here. Before the New Year's, can Chelsea get 3 points? Tielemans, poor corner there. Chelsea pinch it and an opportunity on the counter-attack. Here's Kukurea. Clever pass. It's Cole Palmer down the right-hand side. Cole Palmer tries to feed it to João Pedro on his weaker right foot. Didn't have the pace to get to the Brazilian. Villa thankful that the pass found Cole Palmer on his right foot rather than his left. Kamara. Lovely pass. Reece James goes to attack the ball, but Villa win the second ball again. It's been a common theme. Ooh, Chalobah goes lunging in at Morgan Rogers. It's going to be a yellow card. Trevor Chalobah getting nowhere near that. It's been a tough game for Chalobah and Benoit Badiashile in the second half. This is what Aston Villa do. They bide their time. They stay in games. And with a bit of magic, a bit of quality, and their depth on the bench, they will hurt teams. Chelsea in the second half, very poor. Very, very poor. Well, the triple substitution is happening. It's Jamie Gittins, Liam Delap and Malo Gusto coming on. I'm surprised that Estevao doesn't feature. But João Pedro comes off for Liam Delap, the goal scorer off. Liam Delap yet to score a Premier League goal. I'm not sure if this is the right sub, but João Pedro has not had the best of games. And Alejandro Garnacho comes off for Jamie Gittins on that left-hand side. Gittins has to give us a game here. He doesn't have to give us a game. He has to give us 20 good minutes. £50 million move from Borussia Dortmund. He's got goals and assists in all comps, but in terms of consistency and good wing play, Jamie Gittins has left a lot to be desired. He's got a lot of raw potential, and it's a demanding environment at Chelsea. You won't get the time and the patience to really settle in. Well, Cucurella went off, which means Malo Gusto might just take his position in that midfield area. Again, Villa play the long ball forward. Caicedo should get there first. He doesn't. It's Watkins! What a save by Sanchez! Well, it's all Villa since they have scored the goal. Ollie Watkins is a nightmare for us. He's giving Trevor Chalobah hell out there. He gets away from Moises Caicedo, takes a deflection. That is a brilliant save by Rob Sanchez. He's keeping us in this match. Chelsea are dying out there. We need something. It's been a completely different second half. 50-50 possession. It's been all Villa in terms of attempts. Here's Gittins on the outside. Cross comes in. It's a terrible cross. Oh, Chelsea's wing play has been shocking. There's a lot of talk about the wingers that Chelsea accumulated. 50 million for Gittins, 40 million for Garnacho, 50 million for Pedro Neto. Estevao came for 30 million, but he's a young superstar just trying to bed himself in a new league. Enzo Maresca has completely taken him out of game time here. We have seen very little of Estevao in December. Here's Yuri Tielemans. Chelsea are looking to make one more sub. Liam Delap immediately commits a foul. Ooh, it's another terrible foul by Liam Delap and Moises Caicedo, both equally cynical. I think Liam Delap might also get a yellow card. Delap has been on the pitch for 2 minutes and he picks up a yellow card. I mean, this guy's useless. He's got more yellow cards than goals. What is he trying to do there on Onana? He frustrates the hell out of me, Liam Delap. £30 million signing from Ipswich Town to replace Nico Jackson. Oof. We've seen some poor decisions at the bridge. That might take the cake, and see 2 needless yellow cards there, but Morgan Rogers was turning to a dangerous position. It's another free kick here for Aston Villa, and Estevao is finally coming on. We expected him to come on in the triple substitution. Enzo Maresca waiting, but he doesn't play alongside Cole Palmer. He replaces Cole Palmer. This is a surprising decision. Cole Palmer rarely gets hooked, but it seems that Enzo Maresca and Chelsea are looking to manage his minutes rather than throw him into the deep end here. It's a curious decision as Chelsea have changed 3 out of their front 4. Gittins, Estevao and Liam Delap. It's a young front 3. Only Pedro Neto with a bit of experience. Chelsea just need to scam a goal here, but it's a free kick for Aston Villa. It's getting really nervy at the bridge. I almost feel like Aston Villa are going to score again here because they have been knocking on the door. They have been completely different in the second half. Whatever Unai Emery said at the halftime break, worked like a treat. He made the subs at the right time. The impact was soon after the triple substitution, and Morgan Rogers is dead center here with 7 Premier League goals to his name, looking to light it up at Stamford Bridge here. Morgan Rogers against Rob Sanchez from about 30 yards. It's Rogers! Oh, it's nearly perfect. Catches the roof of the net. It's a brilliant free kick. Rob Sanchez is about 6'6", and you're scrambling across. Great technique there by Morgan Rogers, but the roof of the net saves Chelsea. It's been all Aston Villa. It's their 8th attempt in the second half. Chelsea have had 1. What has happened in that second half? Absolutely unacceptable. Here's Caicedo. Finds Reece James. Pedro Neto. Well, Estevao for Cole Palmer means that Estevao will be playing as the number 10. Here's Benoit Badiashile, whose suicide pass started it all for Aston Villa. Gittins trips over his own feet. So does Enzo Fernandez. It's comical this from Chelsea. It's another long ball forward. Well, they're leaving 2v1 here with Badiashile and Trevor Chalobah up against Ollie Watkins, and it does not look comfortable for the Chelsea centre-halves. Unai Emery knows that this game is there to be won. He's sensing it. Chelsea have been second best in the second half, and it's a complete change from the first. We cannot keep the ball in midfield. Malo Gusto, his first involvement is a slight challenge. Finds Reece James. Moises Caicedo looks to switch it beautifully to Jamie Gittins. Here's the substitute now up against Cash. Cash had all the joy against Garnacho. Gittins finds... Oh, that surely is a foul there on Enzo Fernandez right at the edge of the box. Oof. That is on the 18-yard line. It's Yuri Tielemans on Enzo Fernandez. That is very, very close. Yep, clear foul. Number 8 on number 8. Yep, just clips the heel of Enzo Fernandez. It's about 20 yards from goal. Reece James has scored a couple of brilliant free kicks in his Chelsea career. Saw against Bournemouth at Stamford Bridge pretty much last season from this angle. That was in the 96th minute against Newcastle United. It was a special free kick from about 30 yards. This is a right-footed curler made for Reece James here. Come on, skipper. Bail us out again. It's been a terrible second half from Chelsea. I mean, how do we go from that first half to this second? The inquest has to be led, but inquest can be asked later if we get the 3 points. Any manner, any way will do. The scrappiest of goals will be celebrated. Come on, Reece. Just find the corner here. Neto, get away from it. Neto's quality has been absolutely non-existent from that right-hand side. And the whole of Stamford Bridge holds its collective breath here. It's Reece James. Should be the favourite. Please, Pedro Neto, get away from this one. Not even as a dummy or as a decoy do I want to see you there. This should be Reece James territory. 20 yards away. It's Reece James. Hits the wall. Unfortunate James again. Malo Gusto on the left-hand side. Ball played across the face of goal. Villa defend well. Malo Gusto keeps the ball. Enzo Fernandez tries to sneak the ball. Konza defends that very well. And now Aston Villa on the counter-attack can cause us problems. Ollie Watkins loses the duel to Malo Gusto, who does very well. Enzo Fernandez leaves a foot in. Might have gotten the ball first and then Matty Cash. A lot more fouls given in the favour of Aston Villa in the second half. Chelsea have been frustrated. Aston Villa have played the perfect second half here. But I don't see why Enzo Fernandez had too much complaints there. It was a clear foul by the Argentine, who missed that big opportunity in that first half. But Chelsea did have the lead at the half-time break. Whatever was said clearly did not translate. It's been all Aston Villa. Here's Morgan Rogers. Finds Onana. That triple substitution completely changed the game. Onana, brilliant pass onto the right-hand side. Onana, Sancho and Ollie Watkins just added a different level of physicality and technical ability to Aston Villa's side, and they took full advantage of it. Here's Martinez. Finds Victor Lindelof. Ian Maatsen. And how brave are Aston Villa here to try and get the winner? Do they leave themselves slightly exposed in trying to get that second goal, the winner, to go back into third place, 3 points behind Arsenal? It now looks like a possibility, that's for sure. Esteval loses that. Caicedo's won 2 brilliant duels. What a challenge that was. Caicedo on the right-hand side finds Pedro Neto. Neto on his left foot. Thought about the shot. Loses his balance. I mean, Pedro Neto is dropping a hall of shame performance. Ball somehow breaks to Esteval down the right-hand side. Should be a corner for Chelsea, and it is. Pedro Neto's quality has been absolutely zero. I mean, this is why I'll never judge players on goals and assists. Pedro Neto has gotten all the goals, all the assists for Chelsea this season, but his quality is bog standard. Chelsea need to make a decision with him quickly. I mean, you know how much Enzo Maresca likes him because of his out-of-position play, but on the ball, it's hard work watching Pedro Neto with the number 7 on his back. Can he bail us out with this corner? Neto delivers. terrible. Absolutely terrible. I mean, Neto has not put one decent ball in. Why do we let him take the corner? I mean, it's just terrible. I mean, questions have to be asked by the Chelsea board in terms of the winger signings that we make season in, season out. I mean, they keep going for the same profile, young winger. Oh, Badiashile has found it so difficult against Ollie Watkins. He had a comfortable game against Daniel Marlin, but the game is completely flipped with Ollie Watkins' introduction. The ball is sticking with the centre forward, is getting his teammates involved. Can they play through the Chelsea press nicely on the right hand side? Here's Jadon Sancho. Flashes the ball across the face of goal. Good handling there by Rob Sanchez, who's looking for yet another quick release here. Into the 80th minute. Chelsea have not changed in the second half. It's been hard work. I mean, I have to ask myself this question. How do we go from that 45 minutes to what we have seen in the second half? It's absolutely unacceptable. We really aren't a serious team, are we? Really aren't. It's going to be yet another season battling for Champions League positions. Really deflating. There's still time for Chelsea to pull one out here, but it's looking really unlikely. The second half, I mean, I am running out of words. Villa looking to freshen things up again with a double substitution. Emery is not afraid to use his bench here. 5 changes being made. Here's Badiashile. Finds Trevor Chalobah. Disappointing with how Chelsea conceded that goal, man. We're in control. Badiashile just plays a blind pass. Enzo Fernandez finds Jamie Gittins on the left-hand side. Here's Gittins into the box. Jamie Gittins, great feed. Gittins with the strike. Blocked by Camara. Enzo Fernandez gets there first. Brilliant there from Enzo. Enzo Fernandez thought about the cross, finds Jamie Gittins, who is onside. Gittins, last touch comes off the Aston Villa player. It's a corner for Chelsea. Under 10 minutes of normal time remain at the bridge. Chelsea desperately looking for 3 points in what has been a nightmare December for the Blues. Bogard and Luca Dean, 2 Frenchmen coming on for Aston Villa to show things up. Bogard in midfield and Luca Dean at left back, expected after this corner. Should be Reece James to deliver. Chelsea packed the box here. I think we are overcommitting a lot of bodies in the box as Reece delivers. Headed away by Amadou Onana. It's another corner for Chelsea. Amadou Onana is about 6'4". A useful presence at that near post. Reece James needs to have a bit more whip here. Again, Chelsea have committed so many bodies into the box. Edge of the box, Gittins, Gusto and Moises Caicedo. I'm really worried about the Aston Villa counter-attack as Reece delivers. It's headed away. Poor delivery there by Reece on both occasions, trying to aim at the near post. Oh, that's a risky pass by Reece. Thankfully, Gittins wins the ball back. Here's Caicedo. Pedro Neto, again, a lot of space. Can he isolate Maatsen? Neto delivers. Decent ball in. Cleared away acrobatically there by Victor Lindelof. Maatsen looks to burst away from Enzo Fernandez. It's a throw-in for Aston Villa. Double substitution for Unai Emery's men. 5 of the 11 players now been changed as Camara will come off for Bogard. And I think Ian Maatsen will make way for Luca Dean. As Aston Villa look to end the second half on a strong note here. They've definitely been the better side. Camara off for Bogard and Maatsen off for Luca Dean. Well, Camara, when he had Amadou Onana next to him in the second half, was a completely different player. Onana and Yuri Tielemans exchanging spots, and Onana in midfield has made a complete difference. His physicality, his ability to win duels and lengthen his stride with attacks. Such a weapon. Liam Delap can't bring that under control. Again, look at the difference between Delap and Watkins in terms of change here. As Ollie Watkins goes on the outside. Badiashile, what are you doing there, Benoit Badiashile? Oh, he commits himself in the box. Ollie Watkins gives him the slip. Again, the number of times Aston Villa have got behind us here. And they talk about impact between the 2 substitute strikers. I mean, Liam Delap has been non-existent for Chelsea, and Ollie Watkins has caused us all sorts of problems. Not just the goals, but the runs in behind. He's a constant menace. Badiashile looks like a completely different defender now that he's got Ollie Watkins to try and contend with. Chelsea had all the corners, but in the second half, Villa have had 5. Absolutely inexplicable, the second half. Corner comes in. Header! It's 2-1! Ollie Watkins off the bench has a brace, and Aston Villa come from behind and in a deserved second half performance put 2 past Chelsea, and Villa lead at the Bridge. It's absolutely shocking defending there from Chelsea. Nobody picks out Ollie Watkins. It's a free header for the centre forward who's made all the difference from the bench. Thumping header past Sanchez, and Chelsea have imploded in the second half. What a delivery this is from Yuri Tielemans. It is absolutely spot on. The defending there from Malo Gusto. He lets Ollie Watkins get away. It's right into the corner. It's thoroughly deserved. Chelsea conceded 2 against Newcastle away from home and now concede 2 at home to Aston Villa. Unai Emery celebrates. He got a late goal against Arsenal at home. 2-1 win against Manchester United. And as it stands, 2-1 at the Bridge with Ollie Watkins getting a brace. Unacceptable second half from Chelsea, but it's only what we deserve. I mean, since we have made the substitutions, I really hope that the Chelsea hierarchy just point to Ollie Watkins and Liam Delap as the 2 players that came on as subs and look at the impact they made. Forget the goals. Just forget the 2 goals that Watkins scored and just look at Liam Delap, what he offers, and look at Ollie Watkins. Aston Villa, 10 points ahead of us. 10. We knew the season's going to be difficult, but geez, man. When we're not up for it, we really do play some terrible football. Caicedo does brilliantly to find Reece James. Here's Pedro Neto. I really don't have much hopes with Pedro Neto. He's such a low IQ player, man. We cannot be affording to carry players like this. Here's Reece James. Here's Pedro Neto on his left foot. Pedro Neto takes a shot. It's a terrible shot. Chelsea have played a nightmare game here in the second half. Absolutely no consolation prize. Gittins, ball in. Oh my goodness. Our wing play. I mean, talk about money being burnt. Our wingers are absolutely dreadful. I'm not going to put Estevao in that. But Jamie Gittins, Garnacho and Pedro Neto. We are going nowhere as a club if those are our wingers. It's just simple as that. Took off Cole Palmer for Estevao, and that decision has spectacularly backfired because Estevao has gotten 1 touch of the ball so far. You know that Cole Palmer's minutes may have to be managed after that lengthy injury that he's had, but Aston Villa have bided their time and hit us with 2 sucker punches, and I don't think Chelsea are going to recover. Again, our defensive solidity in the second half. Chalobah and Badiashile, their second half performance has to be studied. I mean, what was mixed in their drinks in that second half, I have absolutely no idea. Look at that Estevao ball. It's so criminal. Caicedo gets caught here. This could be 3 if Villa play it right. It's Jadon Sancho parried away by Sanchez. Estevao Willian has to take better care of the ball. This is a suicidal pass to Moises Caicedo. Onana bites into the challenge, and Aston Villa turn into another shot. That was angling in towards the near post. Terrible from Chelsea, my word. As it stands, Chelsea in 5th, 3 points behind Liverpool, 10 points behind Aston Villa in 3rd position. It's been absolutely shocking. I mean, the December after the November that we had, is criminal. 1 win in 6. Inexcusable. Here's Sancho causing us all sorts of problems. On the right hand side, he wins yet another corner. I mean, Aston Villa have made a statement in the second half. They have totally outplayed us. Absolutely nothing to say. Villa deserve it. No sour grapes. Knew this game was going to be difficult. But considering the first half Chelsea have had, the second half, oof. Heading into the final minute. Oh, Sanchez might have dropped the ball when he's looking for the quick release. He's lost his balance. He's gone out of goal with the ball in his hand. He might pick up a red card here. Oh my word. Things are going to go from bad to worse. Rob Sanchez looking for a quick release. He's lost his footing, and if he's not released the ball in time, this is going to go from bad to worse for all the problems that we have. Oh yes, that ball was in Sanchez's hands. His feet go in from underneath him. It's a free kick. Sanchez won't get a red card, but it's a free kick right at the edge of the box. I mean, it is absolutely comical from Chelsea, man. Talk about implosion. You're not a serious institution. Absolutely nowhere from it. That's a serious coach. Unai Emery. He has my respect. He knows even when his team can't compete, he will find a way. He is the greatest leveler, the greatest equalizer. Off the bench, his subs were perfect timing, perfect personnel in terms of profile and game changers. With 5 minutes remaining in stoppage time, it's been all Aston Villa. Chelsea nowhere near getting the equalizer. I mean, we haven't troubled Emi Martinez. It was Reece James who put a cross-come shot. Other than that, absolutely zero. It could get worse here. Ball pretty much on the 18-yard line, and it's Morgan Rogers looking for his 8th Premier League goal to compound Chelsea's misery at the bridge. It's been a nightmare December. It could get worse though. It's Luca Dean. Good save. Rob Sanchez has pulled out some massive saves. Sancho gets away from Estevan Willian. Here's Sancho again. Excellent possession for Villa. Oh, Enzo Fernandez gives the ball away in midfield. Enzo in the second half has been non-existent. Like most of the Chelsea players have really struggled with the intensity and the technical ceiling of Aston Villa in the second half. Badia Shield finds Malo Gusto. Here's Reece James. Here's Moises Caicedo. Malo Gusto again. Here's Estevao on the right hand side. Can Estevao, who got us the winner against Liverpool at Stamford Bridge, can he be the one to drag a point out of absolutely nothing? Here's Gusto. Reece James. Malo Gusto, first time cross comes into the box. Terrible delivery. Our delivery from the wings, I mean, oof. It's just been terrible. I don't think Chelsea are going to make any moves in January in terms of players coming in. Might have Romeo Lavia and Dario Sugo coming in into midfield and add a bit of cover. And I use the word depth very generously, but we are level on points with Manchester United. I have nothing to say, man. Reece James finds Liam Delap. And Delap struggling to hold the ball against Victor Lindelof. James, though, finds Estevao. Here's Estevan Willian. Lovely bit of skill to get away from Luca Dean. Brilliant from Estevao. Estevao again. Oh, he tries to feed that to Liam Delap. Should have gone for goal himself, really. I mean, what are we expecting Liam Delap to do there? But Estevao with great close control. Really getting us something out of nothing. Here's Reece James. He's not going to get the handball there, Reece. That is really poor from Reece. And Morgan Rogers gets the throw in. Can Chelsea fall asleep? It's been a novice, an amateur second half from the Blues. Talked about this team being in constant development and process phase. It seems that we'll never escape from it. Well, Moises Caicedo looked like he won the ball cleanly there, but it's been given as a foul. Enzo Fernandez is going to pick up a yellow card for dissent. Chelsea in the second half have served up a bowl of absolute shit. It's been so bad. Look at the subs we made and look at the subs they made. The game was changed right there. Jamie Gittins had 2 moments in the match where he pretty much carried the ball. Liam Delap, I prefer not to speak about him. And whoever's in charge of our transfers, they have to be the one coming under scrutiny because the players are not good enough, man. Some of them, we're just hoping that they somehow fulfill their potential here. But it's going to be the same model again and again. We're going to keep buying young. And if someone like Jamie Gittins or Garnacho doesn't play well, we have someone like Giovanni Kenda coming in next season. He's also about, 18, 19 years old. We're going to expect him to do the world again. It's this constant cycle, which means that we're going to be constantly in this phase where we're just the most inconsistent team in the league. I mean, look at that stoppage time. There's been 5 minutes of stoppage time. Chelsea have struggled to get the ball out of their own half. Look at Pedro Neto, man. Criminal. Just get the ball out there. And he has the cheek to complain as well. Pedro Neto, I mean, how are we going to get this guy out of the club? I have no idea. Every time he scores a goal or assist, I believe it's against Chelsea Football Club because it keeps him at the club longer. Farcical winger. We should not be buying from Wolves, Ipswich Town and the likes. I mean, I can't believe Chelsea are shopping in the bargain basement. You buy from Wolves, you buy from Ipswich, you get Wolves and Ipswich level players. It's that simple. I mean, look at stoppage time. Enzo Fernandez, Chelsea in general have just struggled to stitch 2 passes, man. And the referee blows the full-time whistle. It's been a terrible second half from Chelsea. 10 points the difference between Aston Villa in 3rd and Chelsea in 5th. And it's Liverpool who overtake Chelsea. Chelsea are level on points with Manchester United after match week 18. Terrible game, Chirag Swami. You are Nastar. Bad luck. Get out of here, my friend. Thanks for tuning in, bro. But my word, it's a shambolic game from Chelsea. Ollie Watkins came on in the 60th minute, scored a brace. First goal in the 63rd and then in the 84th minute. Both were shocking goals. The second one, absolutely unacceptable. It was a free header in the box, which he buried past Rob Sanchez. Sanchez, the more busier goalkeeper in the second half. But Chelsea in that second half, absolutely terrible. We slipped down to 5th. And we've got a terrible, terrible end to the year and the start of the new year with City coming up twice for us. This is going to go from bad to worse. Sunderland have an opportunity with a win tomorrow, will eclipse Chelsea and go into 5th, and Chelsea will slip to 6th. Crystal Palace are on 26 points as well. They play tomorrow. Well, an opportunity for Sunderland and Crystal Palace to get closer to Chelsea. Aston Villa pulled clear away from the chasing pack. 7 points away from Liverpool in 4th, 1 point behind Arsenal, 1 point behind Manchester City in 2nd, and 3 points behind Arsenal in 3rd. Unai Emery continues to excel with yet another massive scalp. 3 points against Arsenal, 3 against Manchester United, and now 3 again at Stamford Bridge. And it's 8 in a row for Unai Emery's Aston Villa. 11 in all competitions. This is quite the run from Unai Emery's side. Nobody can stop them by the looks of it as they keep going on the ascendancy. Full time here at Stamford Bridge. It's Chelsea 1, Aston Villa 2.